In this video, we are exploring 5 of the most valuable and expensive United States ultra-rare Kennedy half-dollar coins, pieces that go far beyond face value and tell a powerful story of history, rarity, and collector demand. From elusive mint marks to exceptional high-grade examples, these Kennedy half-dollars have captivated enthusiasts for decades, and today we take a closer look at why they are considered prized treasures in the world of American numismatics. First up, we're exploring one of the most valuable and rare, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar struck at the Denver Mint with the D Mint mark stands as one of the most fascinating and quietly powerful modern issues in United States numismatics. A coin that continues to captivate enthusiasts who understand that true value is often hidden in plain sight. At first glance, it may appear similar to other clad-era half-dollars, yet seasoned collectors recognize it as a prized treasure whose appeal lies in a mix of history, scarcity in top condition, and steadily rising market demand. This coin represents a period of transition in American coinage, and for those who seek meaningful pieces rather than obvious showpieces, the 1973 D Kennedy half-dollar holds a special place as a highly sought-after collectible with lasting value. The historical context of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar adds depth to its desirability, as it was minted during a time when the United States was adjusting to post-silver coinage and major social change. Produced at the Denver Mint, this coin is part of the long-running Kennedy half-dollar series introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy following his assassination. By 1973, the half-dollar had largely disappeared from everyday circulation, leading many examples to be saved, spent lightly, or ignored entirely by the public. This year reflects a moment when the coin still carried strong symbolic weight as a tribute to a beloved president, while also marking the evolution of American money in a modern economic era, making it a tangible connection to the past. The unique features of the 1973 D Kennedy half-dollar contribute strongly to its appeal, especially in high-grade examples. The obverse features Gilroy Roberts' iconic portrait of John F. Kennedy, rendered with sharp detail when well struck, surrounded by clean fields that highlight the president's profile. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal with the heraldic eagle, shield, and stars, a design that carries both national pride and artistic balance. Struck in copper-nickel-clad composition, the coin measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter and weighs 11.34 grams, and when found in uncirculated condition, the Denver Mint strike often shows strong luster and crisp devices that elevate its visual presence far beyond its face value. Rarity is where the 1973 D Kennedy half-dollar begins to separate itself from more common issues, not because of low overall mintage, but due to the scarcity of top-tier survivors. While millions were struck, truly pristine uncirculated examples with full luster, clean surfaces, and sharp strikes are far more difficult to locate today. Certain high-grade specimens and subtle varieties, including strong strike characteristics or minor die anomalies, are especially desirable to advanced collectors. The challenge of finding this coin in near-perfect condition drives competition and demand, as most surviving pieces show contact marks, dull surfaces, or signs of improper storage. The market value of the 1973 D Kennedy half-dollar reflects this balance between availability and condition-based rarity, with prices rising significantly for superior examples. Circulated coins remain affordable, but uncirculated and certified pieces in higher mint state grades can command impressive premiums. Depending on grade, eye appeal, and any recognized variety, market values generally range from around $1,000 for high-end mint state examples to as much as $8,000 for exceptionally well-preserved or standout pieces seen in auction settings. Collectors are drawn to its steady appreciation, supported by historical importance, strong collector interest, and the visual appeal that sets top-quality examples apart from ordinary clad coinage. For collectors seeking to add this coin to their collection, careful selection is essential. Priority should be given to high-grade, certified examples from reputable grading services, as condition is the single most important factor in determining value. Close inspection for sharp details, original luster, and minimal surface marks is critical, and buyers are best served by purchasing from established dealers or major auctions. Proper storage in protective holders and minimal handling help preserve the coin's condition, while engagement with collector communities provides valuable insight into market trends and the subtle qualities that distinguish truly exceptional specimens. What further elevates the 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar in the eyes of dedicated numismatists is the emotional and symbolic weight it carries alongside its financial appeal, a combination that few modern-era coins manage to achieve so convincingly. As collectors revisit this issue with a more educated perspective, appreciation continues to grow for how difficult it is to locate examples that truly reflect the coin's original mint brilliance and sharp detail. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar with the Denver D mint mark stands as a compelling blend of history, artistry, and condition-based rarity that continues to captivate enthusiasts worldwide. It is more than a simple clad coin from the 1970s. It is a prized collectible that reflects a pivotal era in American numismatics and honors a lasting presidential legacy. For collectors who appreciate understated significance and long-term value, this coin represents a rewarding pursuit and a strong addition to any serious collection, offering lasting appeal as both a historical artifact and a respected investment within the Kennedy half-dollar series. And secondly, we uncover the hidden stories and real-world value behind America's most fascinating coins. We are exploring the ultra-rare 1981 Kennedy half-dollar struck at the Philadelphia P Mint mark, a coin whose true worth is revealed only when you understand its history, condition rarity, and collector demand. The 1981 Philadelphia Kennedy half-dollar holds a special place in the series because it comes from a turning point in U.S. coin production. While millions were minted, most were never intended for everyday circulation. By the early 1980s, the half-dollar was no longer widely used in commerce, and many 1981 coins were sold directly to collectors in mint sets rather than released into circulation. This shift created a situation where circulated examples are common and often worn, but truly pristine, high-grade survivors are surprisingly scarce, making this coin far more collectible than its face value suggests. Looking at the historical background, 1981 was a year marked by economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, and changes in how Americans used cash. The Philadelphia Mint produced Kennedy half-dollars mainly to satisfy collector demand, not public spending habits. As a result, fewer coins were handled carefully outside mint packaging, and even fewer survived without contact marks, dull surfaces, or weak strikes. This context explains why the 1981 P. Kennedy half-dollar has become a condition rarity rather than a low-mintage rarity, a key factor that drives its premium today. The design of the 1981 P. Kennedy half-dollar remains faithful to the iconic imagery introduced in 1964. The obverse features John F. Kennedy's left-facing portrait, designed by Gilroy Roberts, with sharp detail in the hairlines and jaw when well struck. On high-grade examples, the fields appear smooth and reflective, with strong contrast between the portrait and background. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal with the eagle, shield, and stars. Coins with full feather detail on the eagle and crisp lettering on the reverse are especially desirable and signal a superior strike quality. Rarity for the 1981 Philadelphia Kennedy half-dollar is all about survival in top condition. While lower-grade examples are easy to find, coins graded MS-66 and higher by major grading services become dramatically scarcer. Marks from mint handling, dull luster, or flat details eliminate many coins from premium grades. Truly exceptional specimens with blazing original luster, clean fields, and sharp strikes are rare, and these are the coins that attract serious attention and strong prices in the collector market. Collector demand for this coin continues to grow because it represents a modern challenge within the Kennedy half-dollar series. Advanced collectors often seek the finest known examples from each year and mint, and the 1981 P stands out as one of the tougher issues to find in elite condition. Its status as a non-circulating era coin adds to its appeal, especially for collectors who appreciate overlooked modern rarities rather than classic silver issues alone. This demand keeps competition high whenever a top-grade example appears at auction. When it comes to current market value, the difference condition makes it dramatic. Circulated or lightly worn examples typically trade close to face value or slightly above, usually between $1 and $3. Uncirculated coins in MS-63 to MS-64 condition often range from $10 to $30. However, once the coin reaches MS-66, values can climb into the several $100 range. At MS-67, Prices commonly reach $1,000 or more, and exceptional MS-67 Plus examples have sold for several $1,000s depending on eye appeal, luster, and overall quality. These figures reflect today's market trends and can fluctuate based on demand and availability. For collectors searching for this coin, condition should be the top priority. Focus on coins with strong original luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp details on both sides. Coins still sealed in original 1981 mint sets are a good starting point, though most will not reach the highest grades. Professional grading is essential for maximizing value, as certified examples command far more trust and higher prices. Patience is key, because truly premium specimens do not surface often. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1981 Philadelphia Kennedy half-dollar is how often it is underestimated by casual collectors. Because it contains no silver and comes from a relatively recent era, many people assume it cannot be valuable. In reality, this misconception has worked in favor of advanced collectors who understand condition rarity. Coins that were mishandled in mint sets, exposed to humidity, or stored improperly lost their original luster over time, dramatically reducing the number of examples capable of achieving top grades today. When a sharply struck 1980 1p Kennedy half-dollar with flawless surfaces and vibrant mint luster appears, it immediately stands out as a survivor from a period when few people expected modern coins to ever become high-value collectibles. From an investment and collecting perspective, the long-term outlook for this coin remains strong because it sits at the intersection of scarcity and growing interest in modern U.S. coinage. As more collectors attempt to complete high-grade Kennedy half-dollar registry sets, competition for elite examples intensifies, pushing prices higher with each record-setting sale. Unlike heavily hyped coins, the 1981p has grown steadily and organically in value, supported by real demand rather than speculation. This makes it especially appealing to collectors who value stability, historical relevance, and the satisfaction of owning a coin that rewards knowledge and patience rather than chance. The 1981 Philadelphia Kennedy half-dollar proves that rarity is not always about low mintage, but about survival, quality, and collector demand. Its historical context, iconic design, and extreme scarcity in top grades make it a standout coin for both new and experienced collectors. As modern coins continue to gain respect in the numismatic world, this issue remains a quiet powerhouse in terms of long-term appeal and value. Stay tuned, because coming up next, we are moving on to another Kennedy half-dollar that looks ordinary at first glance, but carries a surprising story and an even more impressive market presence. And thirdly, we're talking about the most valuable and expensive. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar with the Denver D mint mark is one of those coins that quietly sits in collections while hiding a story far bigger than its face value. And that is exactly what makes it so fascinating to collectors today. Struck during a turbulent economic period in the United States, this coin was produced at a time when inflation was rising. Silver had already been removed from circulating half-dollars, and most people treated these coins as nothing more than everyday pocket change. Yet within this massive production run exists a small group of coins that stand apart. Coins whose value is driven not by spending power, but by rarity, preservation, and the tiny details most people never think to examine. This is where the real story begins, because the difference between a common 1974 D half-dollar and a highly valuable one can come down to condition, strike quality, and rare minting characteristics that escaped notice for decades. What makes the 1974 D Kennedy half-dollar especially compelling is the Denver Mint's role during that year. Millions of coins were struck quickly to meet circulation demand, which resulted in uneven quality, weak strikes, and frequent surface marks. Because of this, truly high-grade examples are shockingly scarce today. Coins that survived without heavy scratches, bag marks, or dull surfaces are incredibly difficult to find, and that scarcity fuels collector demand. In the world of numismatics, condition is everything, and a 1974 D Kennedy half-dollar graded at the top of the scale becomes a completely different coin altogether, one that can command staggering prices compared to its face value. Collectors pay close attention to mint state examples, especially those with strong luster, sharp details in Kennedy's hair, and a clean, frosty finish across the fields. Denver minted coins from this era are notorious for weak detail on the hair above the ear and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. When a coin shows full detail in these areas, it immediately raises eyebrows among serious collectors. These visual traits are not just cosmetic, they are proof of a superior strike, and that superiority translates directly into higher market value. This is why some 1974 D half dollars sell for modest amounts, while others reach astonishing price levels at auction. Another factor driving value is the presence of rare errors and varieties. While the standard 1974 D Kennedy half dollar is common, error coins from this year can be extremely valuable. Off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped planchets, and dramatic die errors transform an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. These errors are accidental, unpredictable, and impossible to reproduce, which is exactly why collectors are willing to pay large sums for them. A genuine mint error from 1974 with clear visual impact can be worth many times more than a normal example, sometimes reaching prices that shock people who have never looked closely at their spare change. Professional grading plays a massive role in separating ordinary coins from elite ones. A 1974 D Kennedy half dollar, graded by a major grading service and certified at a very high mint state level, becomes a trophy coin. Coins graded MS-67 or higher are especially rare, and auction records show that when such examples appear, bidding can become intense. These coins are not valued for metal content, since they are copper-nickel clad, but for their scarcity in pristine condition. In numismatics, rarity plus demand equals value, and high-grade 1974 D half dollars sit squarely in that category. Market demand for Kennedy half dollars has grown steadily over the years, fueled by collectors who appreciate the historical significance of the series and its connection to President John F. Kennedy. The emotional pull of the design adds another layer of desirability, especially when combined with rarity. While not every 1974 D half dollar is valuable, the few exceptional survivors have become highly sought-after assets within the collector community. These coins often disappear into long-term collections, making them even harder to acquire and pushing prices higher when they do surface. It is important to understand that stories of life-changing money are rooted in extreme examples, not everyday finds. The coins that generate headlines are those with extraordinary grades or dramatic errors, discovered by chance or preserved carefully over decades. That is why checking old collections, inherited coin jars, or forgotten rolls can be so exciting. The possibility may be slim, but the reward can be enormous when the right coin appears. This sense of discovery is what keeps collectors searching and fuels the enduring appeal of rare United States coins. The 1974 D Kennedy half dollar also represents a broader lesson in coin collecting. Never judge a coin by its appearance alone. A coin that looks ordinary to the untrained may hold hidden value revealed only through careful inspection and professional evaluation. Minute details like surface texture, strike sharpness, and minting anomalies can dramatically change a coin's worth. This is why experienced collectors emphasize patience, education, and attention to detail when building or evaluating a collection. Auction results over the years have proven that exceptional examples of modern-era coins can rival much older pieces in value. When a top-condition 1974 D Kennedy half dollar enters the market, it reminds everyone that rarity is not always about age, but about survival. Millions were made, but only a tiny fraction remain in truly outstanding condition today. That imbalance between supply and demand is the engine behind high valuations and record-setting sales. The true excitement surrounding the 1974 D Kennedy half dollar comes from the idea that history and chance can collide in the smallest of places, turning an overlooked coin into a serious collector prize. Many of the most valuable examples surfaced not from auctions or dealers, but from old rolls, estate collections, and forgotten storage boxes where they sat untouched for decades. When a coin like this emerges with blazing luster, sharp design details, or an unmistakable mint error, it instantly shifts from ordinary to extraordinary in the eyes of the market. The 1974 Denver Kennedy half dollar is a powerful reminder that coins are more than just objects of commerce. They are historical artifacts, products of their time, and sometimes unexpected gateways into significant value. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who has never examined a half dollar closely before, this coin invites a second look. Somewhere out there, a remarkable example may still be waiting to be discovered, quietly holding a value far beyond what anyone imagined when it first left the Denver Mint. And fourthly, we're exploring the most valuable and expensive United States ultra-rare Kennedy half dollar, from 1972, with the Denver D Mint mark, is not the flawless, brilliant coin most people imagine when they think of high value. It is often the opposite. An old, scratched, dirty, and overlooked half-dollar, the kind that looks damaged or nearly ruined, can carry a value that shocks even experienced collectors. This 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar, worn down by decades of handling and marked by visible scars, stands as a reminder that worth in the coin world is not always defined by beauty. Sometimes the most unlikely survivors hide extraordinary financial potential, and that contradiction is exactly what makes this coin so powerful and mysterious. The year 1972 sits deep in a turbulent period of American history. The United States was dealing with rising inflation, economic uncertainty, and the long shadow of the Vietnam War. Silver had already been removed from circulating half-dollars just a few years earlier, changing the public's relationship with the denomination forever. People no longer saved Kennedy half-dollars for their metal content, and many were pushed into heavy circulation or forgotten in drawers and cash registers. This era produced coins that lived hard lives, and those lives left marks that today serve as evidence of survival during a time of national transition and economic pressure. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar with the Denver D Mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint in large numbers, with mintage figures reaching into the tens of millions. On the surface, this suggests a common coin with little importance. Yet high mintage does not guarantee low value. What matters is how many examples survived in unusual states, carrying extreme wear, damage, or mint-related irregularities that set them apart. Most 1972 D half-dollars were spent, abused, and eventually melted or lost, leaving behind a surprisingly small population of pieces that tell a more dramatic story through their condition and anomalies. The physical condition of an old, scratched 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar transforms it into a visual document of history. Deep scratches across Kennedy's portrait, dark toning, surface gouges, and uneven where patterns reflect years of circulation and neglect. Some examples show discoloration from environmental exposure, while others display edge damage or flattened details that blur the date and lettering. These marks are not random defects. They are a timeline etched into metal, recording every exchange, every pocket, and every moment the coin survived when countless others did not. Collectors are increasingly drawn to coins like this because they break traditional expectations. There is a powerful psychological pull toward pieces that look ugly, damaged, or shocking at first glance, but reveal deeper rarity and narrative value. These coins feel honest and raw. They are tangible survivors, not museum pieces. Niche collectors actively seek out extreme examples because no two are exactly alike, and that individuality creates emotional attachment and competitive desire. In a market saturated with pristine coins, a heavily worn and scarred Kennedy half-dollar can stand out more dramatically than a perfect specimen. Within the 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar series, unusual traits add another layer of intrigue. Die deterioration, weak strikes, planchet flaws, or metal composition reactions can all appear in coins that endured rough conditions. Some pieces show evidence of struck-through debris, lamination peeling, or improper alloy mixing that reacted unpredictably over time. While not every damaged coin contains a mint error, the overlap between heavy circulation damage and subtle mint anomalies is where collectors begin to pay serious attention, especially when the coin presents a visually extreme and undeniable character. The auction market has proven that traditional price guides no longer control the narrative. Social media exposure, viral videos, and specialty era coin auctions have reshaped how collectors discover and value unusual pieces. A single dramatic image of a scarred 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar can ignite emotional bidding wars, particularly when the coin's story is framed correctly. Buyers are no longer just purchasing metal. They are competing for a one-of-one artifact, driven by the fear of missing out and the desire to own something unforgettable. Under extreme conditions, a coin like this can reach astonishing levels. In a theoretical high-end auction scenario, a uniquely damaged and well-documented 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar, tied to a dramatic narrative and confirmed unusual traits, could attract elite collectors willing to push bidding into six-figure territory. This is not the typical value for the date or mint, but it is a real possibility when rarity, presentation, and emotional competition collide. In these moments, value becomes a reflection of uniqueness rather than age or metal content. What truly elevates an old and scratched 1972 D Kennedy half dollar is the way its surface tells a story no mint-fresh coin ever could. Each abrasion, flattened detail, and darkened patch of metal reflects decades of circulation during a time when half dollars were still occasionally used in everyday transactions. These coins passed through countless hands, vending machines, cash drawers, and bank rolls, enduring stress that erased weaker examples from existence. When a coin survives that kind of punishment and still retains identifiable features, it becomes a physical witness to history. Collectors who understand this see damage not as destruction, but as proof of endurance, and endurance is one of the rarest traits in modern U.S. coinage. There is also a growing recognition that heavily worn Kennedy half dollars from the early 1970s represent the end of an era. By the time the 1972 D was circulating, the public had already begun to treat half dollars as inconvenient relics rather than practical money. Many were set aside, others abused, and most were ignored. That indifference is exactly what creates scarcity today in extreme condition survivors. When a coin emerges that looks rough, almost ruined, yet remains structurally intact and visually dramatic, it challenges assumptions about what should or should not be valuable. In competitive collecting circles, these coins are no longer viewed as mistakes or junk, but as artifacts that capture the decline of a denomination and the changing habits of an entire nation. As attention continues to shift towards storytelling and uniqueness, the 1972 D Kennedy half dollar stands poised to surprise future generations of collectors. Coins like this are increasingly featured in high-profile auctions, educational content, and viral discussions that emphasize character over perfection. The market is evolving toward appreciation of rarity created by survival rather than low mintage alone. For anyone holding an old, scratched Kennedy half dollar, especially one from 1972 with the Denver D mint mark, the lesson is clear. Do not dismiss it based on appearance. Study it, understand it, and respect its journey, because in the world of coin collecting, the most unexpected survivors often carry the greatest shock. The story of the 1972 D Kennedy half dollar proves that coin collecting is not about perfection alone. It is about survival, history, and the unpredictable paths objects take through time. An old, scratched, and seemingly worthless coin can carry more meaning and potential than a flawless example locked away in plastic. For collectors and curious viewers alike, this coin stands as a warning and an invitation. Look closely at what you already have, because sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, disguised as damage, waiting to be recognized. And at the end, we're talking about the most valuable and rare, the 1992 Kennedy half dollar with the Denver D mint mark. Stands as one of the most fascinating and highly sought-after pieces in modern American numismatics, captivating enthusiasts with its unexpected rarity and commanding premium value. While the Kennedy half dollar series is widely collected, this specific issue from the Denver Mint has emerged as a prized treasure, often surprising even seasoned collectors with its scarcity in top grades. Its appeal lies not in age, but in a perfect storm of minting circumstances and collector demand, making it the undisputed key coin of the 1990s for the series and a centerpiece for any dedicated assemblage of modern clad coinage. The pursuit of this coin reflects a deep appreciation for condition rarity and series completion, driving a consistent and robust market demand that underscores its special status. Historically, the 1992 D Kennedy half dollar was produced during a period when circulating half dollars had all but vanished from daily commerce, minted primarily for collector sets and a dwindling number of banking transactions. This coin is part of the enduring series that began in 1964 as a memorial to the assassinated President John F. Kennedy, a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in American history. The 1992 issue specifically coincides with the 75th anniversary of President Kennedy's birth, adding a subtle layer of commemorative significance to the year's production. Struck at the Denver Mint, signified by the D mint mark on the obverse, this coin was produced in vastly lower numbers for circulation than its Philadelphia counterpart, setting the stage for its future rarity. Its historical context is one of changing minting policies and declining public use, which inadvertently created a modern numismatic legend. The unique features of this coin are encapsulated in its iconic and emotionally resonant design. The obverse features Gilroy Roberts' masterful portrait of President Kennedy, facing left, with the inscriptions "Liberty, In God We Trust," and the year 1992, to the right of the portrait, with the D mint mark situated below the truncation of the neck. The reverse showcases the majestic presidential coat of arms, as sculpted by Frank Gasparo, featuring the heraldic eagle with a shield, clutching an olive branch and arrows, surrounded by 13 stars and the mottos, E pluribus unum, and $50. Struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, with the familiar silver-colored appearance, its standard size and weight conform to the specifications of the series. The visual appeal of this coin, particularly in gem uncirculated condition, is found in its sharp strike and lustrous, frosty surfaces, which are exceptionally difficult to locate from this mint year. The paramount factor defining the 1992 D. Kennedy $50 is its extraordinary rarity in mint state condition, a circumstance born from its original issuance. While the total mintage seems substantial, the vast majority of these coins were released into circulation, where they quickly became worn, scratched, and impaired. Very few were preserved in uncirculated condition by the public at the time of issue. Furthermore, unlike the 1992 P $50, which was minted in abundance for that year's uncirculated mint sets, the 1992 D was not included in any annual mint set. The only official source for a pristine uncirculated 1992 D was the scarce 1992 D mint set, a specialized product with a very low distribution. This created a severe shortage of high-grade examples, making it a notorious condition rarity. The scarcity of gem-quality specimens is the central driver of its immense collector demand and premium valuation. Market value for the 1992 D. Kennedy $50 in superb condition reflects its status as a modern rarity. A circulated example holds little premium, but the market changes dramatically for uncirculated grades. Examples grading MS 60 to MS 63 can command prices from $100 to several $100s. However, the true premium emerges in grades of MS 65 and above, where the population reports show a startling scarcity. A gem MS 65 is consistently valued in the range of $1,000 to $1,500, while superbly graded MS 66 examples have been known to realize between $2,500 and $4,000 in competitive auctions. The pinnacle of the market is reserved for the finest known examples in MS 67, which are exceedingly rare, with public sales reaching between $6,000 and $8,000, a staggering sum for a modern-clad coin. This price structure underscores the dramatic value increase tied directly to state of preservation. For collectors pursuing this numismatic treasure, several crucial tips are imperative. Prioritizing certified coins is absolutely essential. Purchasing examples graded and encapsulated by leading third-party services like PCGS or NGC guarantees authenticity and protects the investment. Given the dramatic price differences between each grade point, careful inspection of the certification label is a must. Collectors should focus their efforts on reputable numismatic dealers, established auction houses, or major coin shows where such premium material is likely to appear. Engaging with the specialized community of Kennedy $50 collectors can provide invaluable insights and potential leads on availability. Due to the coin's high value, secure storage in a climate-controlled environment, and the use of high quality, inert holders are non-negotiable for preserving its surface quality and long-term worth. The allure of the 1992 D. Kennedy $50 is further magnified by its role as a pivotal educational piece within numismatics, demonstrating that profound rarity and value are not exclusive to ancient or precious metal coins. It serves as a masterclass in the concept of condition rarity, where a coin's supreme value is derived not from a minuscule mintage figure, but from the near impossibility of finding it preserved in pristine, unimpaired state. This aspect makes the hunt for a premium example particularly engaging for collectors, as it rewards diligent searching and a deep understanding of grading standards over simple acquisition. The coin's story, from its overlooked beginnings in Denver to its current status as a trophy piece, parallels the very journey of discovery that fuels the hobby, transforming it from a mere piece of currency into a narrative-rich artifact that embodies the thrill of the pursuit and the satisfaction of securing a genuinely scarce modern classic. Moreover, the long-term investment potential of this coin is intricately tied to its fundamental numismatic pillars: irrevocable scarcity and unwavering demand from series completists. As more collectors seek to assemble top-tier sets of modern-clad coinage, the competition for the few available high-grade 1992 D specimens only intensifies, applying steady upward pressure on its market value. Its appeal is not subject to the fleeting trends that can affect other collectibles, as it holds a non-negotiable position as a key date within a perpetually popular series honoring a beloved president. This ensures a built-in and growing audience of dedicated buyers for generations to come. Consequently, acquiring a certified example in MS65 or higher is widely viewed not merely as a purchase, but as a strategic acquisition of a finite resource, a move that solidifies a collection's merit and promises to be a point of pride and substantial value for the discerning numismatist well into the future. The 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar represents a compelling blend of historical significance, series completion necessity, and extraordinary condition rarity. It stands as a powerful testament to how modern minting and distribution practices can inadvertently create a numismatic legend that captivates collectors and investors alike. This coin is far more than its face value. It is a prized collectible that offers a tangible link to a specific and strategic moment in the U.S. mint's history. Its steady market appreciation and consistent demand from specialists reinforce its stature as a cornerstone of an advanced collection. For any numismatist seeking to understand and own the key issues of modern American coinage, the pursuit of a high-grade 1992 D. Kennedy half-dollar is a challenging and immensely rewarding endeavor, promising both personal satisfaction and enduring value for generations to come.